My name is David Thompson. Today I will be talking to you about the Supreme Court case Bush versus Gore. The two parties involved in this case was George W. Bush and Richard Cheney versus Al Gore. The presiding Chief Justice was William H. Rehnquist. A brief background of this Supreme Court case and its original case started in Florida around the presidential election, the year 2000. Now, after the original vote, George Bush only had a 0.5 percentile over Al Gore, which is around a 48 percentile popular vote. But because of the low percentile, they had to have a mechanical recount. And after this mechanical recount, it showed that Bush only had a 0.3 percentile over Al Gore in the votes. Now, the Florida government saw this and decided to have a manual recount. But George Bush did not like the idea. He brought it to the Supreme Court saying that it went against the 14th Amendment and the Equal Protection Clause, and it made it unconstitutional. Now that you know why the case went to the Supreme Court, you'd probably like to know how it was voted upon. Well, 5 votes went for Bush, and 4 votes went for the manual recount and Al Gore. Now, because 5 went for Bush, that means Bush had won. But imagine if one of those votes from one of the closest Supreme Court decisions in all of history would have gone over to Al Gore. We'd have had possibly a different president. And that could have changed all of American history. For instance, as we all know, we've been in a war for around 10 years now. If Al Gore was president, and as we all know, he is a very peaceful person, he has won the Nobel Peace Prize before, imagine if he was president. We may not still be in the war. Also, who knows what else he could have done? We could have not had 9/11, or something like that. Because he was a peaceful president and George W. Bush wasn't, we could have had much easier and much better economy, in fact, because of this decision.
Just 1 week ago, this court vacated the Florida Supreme Court's November 21 revision of Florida's election code, which had changed statutory deadlines, severely limited the discretion of the state's chief election officer, changed the meaning of words such as shall and may into shall not and may not, and authorized extensive, standardless, and unequal manual ballot recounts in selected Florida counties. Just 4 days later, without a single reference to this court's December 4 ruling, the Florida Supreme Court issued a new, wholesale post-election revision of Florida's election law.
Is there a place in the Florida scheme for her to do this in the contest period?
I don't think there is. Well, there's no limitation on when she can answer advisory opinions.
Even in the contest?
I think that that's correct.
The contest is a contest of the certification. You have the certification results first.
You have a certification which is made by the Secretary of State. That is what is contested.
Right.
And he